Hello everybody. So we'll be doing part two of the next practical in INS. That is Cisco Packet Tracer का NTP का जो है, you know. So for the people who don't know, or what you have to do is basically draw this entire diagram. This diagram and this chart will be given to you in the examination, and the objectives will be given over here. So basically, you have to draw this chart, fill in all the IP addresses, connect all the wires, and next what you have to do is you have to do OSPF. Okay, so just a quick revision. So basically, how you're going to do OSPF is you're going to go into CLI, press enter, go into config router mode, and to go into that you have to do, type in the command router OSPF1. And after you do that, I'm in R1 now, so I'm going to do network, and use R1's IP addresses. So that's 192.168.1.0, and the complement of subnet masks. Okay, and as you can see over here, it's 0.0.0.255. And after you add this, you just have to do area 0. You have to do this for both the IP addresses. So I have done this for the gigabit ethernet 01 IP address. And I have to do that for the the serial interface IP address as well. So that's 10.1.1.0, and its complement of the subnet mask is going to be 0.0.0.3. Okay, uh, a quick tip for you guys. So first, as soon as you see any weird numbers and you're scared of how do you do find out the complement, I'll give you a very easy trick. So just open your calculator, right? Any number you see other than 255, right? So I see 252 over here. You just subtract 255 from that. Okay, so you do 255 minus 252, so you get 3. So 3 is the complement of, like 3 is the number that you have to choose, right? If suppose instead of 252 there was, say, 214, all you had to do was subtract 255, and there you go, 41 would be the complement of that number, because 255 starts from 0, 251 is 1, 252, sorry, 255 is 0, 254 is going to be 1, 253 is 2, and 252 is 3. So as you can see, that's how the complement works. Okay, so don't get scared if there are any weird numbers given in the subnet mask. Just subtract 255 from that, and you get your subnet mask ka complement. Okay, now as you can see, I have done with R1 ka all the subnet masks and the configuration. You're going to do that for even router 2. I'm going to use the IP addresses, so that's network again. Yeah, one more thing is that you can use any 4 letters. So instead of typing the entire network, you can just do net w. For some reason, even that works. So if you don't want to type network, you can just type net w, and the command will still work. Okay, and complement is 0.0.0.3 and area 0. Net w 10.2.2.0 and 0.0.0. I'll have to do it again. 0.0.3 area 0. Okay, so I'm done with router 2, and you have to go to router 3 and go into router OSPF mode again, and network 192.168.3.0, that's 0.0.0.255 area 0. Network 10.2.2.0, 0.0.0.3 area 0. So OSPF is now done. You can check it by passing these packets. Usually the first one always fails, and I can see there's a second time it has failed, so it's not going to go over here only. I'll check PCA. Yeah, PCA is successful, PCB is successful, correct. So that's also successful from PCA to R2. Let's see, as you can, PCA to R3 is also successful. So, oh, there you go, PCC PCA to PCC is successful again. Oh, there you go. PCC to R2, which was failing first, is now working. So just give it some time, So as you can see, just in case, even after doing all of this multiple times, you have checked it and it does not work. Check your, IP configurations, if your subnet masks are correct, if your default gateway is correct, if your IP address is correct, and then redo your OSPF. Okay. And sorry, I mean, check your IP addresses. If your IP addresses are correct, and even if it is still not working, OSPF, right? In that case, you can, you know uh, just do the OSPF again. And to find out which routers OSPF you need to do is basically go from PCC to R3, which is successful. Then from PCC to R2. So in case if R3 and R2 was not correct, you'd have to click on R3 and do R3 ka OSPF. Click on R2 and do R2 ka OSPF again. Okay. So that's one tip I'll give you. Another thing is that always save your work soon after OSPF. Okay. So as soon as OSPF is done, what you can do is you need to save your file. Okay, so like that's a tip that I'm giving you guys. It will help you out a lot during your practical exam. you know as you can see, like soon as, because if suppose you need to redo your practical, right? If you have done some error in some commands or anything, instead of you know starting from all over again from designing and doing OSPF again, soon after your OSPF is done, just make a separate copy of this file. Okay, name it copy or something, so you know that your at least OSPF part is done. Okay, and then you can always go into that file and redo from, start from OSPF. You don't need to start from making the design and all. So we have done with MD5. What we have to do is we have to go to we are doing NTP now. Okay, what NTP does is it basically synchronizes all the clocks on your machines, on your devices. So to do that, it's telling me the first step is click on PCA, right? Then you go to services tab, which is on top of here, and under services I have to go to NTP. So there you go, I can see NTP over here. It's disabled, so I have to enable it. And inside the key I have to enter one, and the password is going to be NTP PA55. You can see it's mentioned over here for authentication, right? So as soon as this is done, you close PCA. Then what you do is, this one command you'll have to run in all the routers. So you go to router 1, R1 basically, and it's in config mode. So exit from config router, type in the command NTP server 192.168.1.5, and copy it. You can press enter over here. Yeah, I'll do it again. And you can copy it and just go to all the routers, go to config mode, paste that command, and yeah, you just have to do that. Second thing, for the practical examination, you won't be given the commands, so you have to remember all of these commands. Quite unfortunate, but yeah, that's what we have to do. After that, after this thing, so we have to verify client configuration using the command show NTP status. Okay, so this command, you can't do it in config mode. You have to go to this executable mode. And suppose if you are here, okay, so to go into executable mode, the command is en. So en will take you into the executable mode, and over here I have to enter the command show NTP status. So now you can see, like, the clock is synchronized. So technically, this is actually the verification of your entire NTP. Like, if you get clock is synchronized message, like, that's the end of it. I don't know why I'm getting it now, but you'll have to do all of these commands. So you go to R1. uh, you go to config mode. That's config T, and that's NTP update hyphen calendar. That's done in R1, and that command needs to go in all of R2, R3, and R. Oh, that's it. R1, R2, R3. Uh, yep. After that, NTP calendar is done. Exit global verification, and yeah. So basically, you'll have to exit the go into executable mode again, and do show clock, and this will show you the time it's at. After that, you have to run these commands in R1. Okay, so you go to R1, R1's config mode, and you type in the command ntp authenticate. um, After that, ntp trusted hyphen key 1, ntp authentication hyphen key 1 md5 ntp pa55. Yeah, so I've now, after this is done in R1, you have to do that in R2 and R3 as well. So let's do that. That's ntp authenticate, ntp trusted hyphen key 1, uh, ntp authentication hyphen key 1 md5 ntp 55. And you do that in R3 as well. um, ntp authenticate, ntp trusted hyphen key 1, ntp authentication hyphen key 1 md5 ntp pa55. After that, you have to type in the command service timestamps log date time msec, and this is going to go in all the other routers as well, so in R2 as well and in R1. And after that is done, you go into R2, go exit out of config mode, and over here what you want to do is you want to do show ntp status. So over here you can see clock is synchronized. So if you get this clock is synchronized message, that means that your practical of ntp is successfully done. Yeah, so this is your ntp ka practical, and that's it.